So hello. We are Benjamin and Michael.
Hi.
From Graz in Austria. And today we are going to speak about Kleinraum, which is an organization that we started in Austria, in Graz. And we are only here for a lot of people that have been there, so it's not only our project, it's a project of a lot of people, and sometimes you haven't even been part of the project sometimes, so keep that in mind when you ask questions, but we will try to answer everything. But first, I would like to start, because Rosina already put the quote up of my master thesis. I actually did my master thesis about EASA also. The European Architecture Student Assembly, and it was about education and research in a bigger scale, and in scale 1-to-1. So this is my presentation sheet of EASA Veliko Tarnovo 2014. I just wanted to say for my thesis, for laboratories that are really big space and are using big space. And when you haven't been to EASA, go. But I think all of us, mostly. But there is a lot of other, also, like EASA is not the only thing that's happening all over Europe or the world. There's so many workshops that you can visit. I will show you one or two also. And I just want to say that in these laboratories, it's about experiencing space, like, and new ways of constructing or thinking. I mean, these workshops are crazy. Handle and manipulate different materials. This is from Bellastock in Paris. I will show you something later. Get away from the desk and go outside and really learn with the hands. And change and improve the environment. I mean, who has been 2014 knows that we got problems with the guy who owns the space, who was in prison and just came back, and we had to buy the kiosk from him. Get along with your environments. And places where it can happen can be temporary and small, and happen like Kleinraum, like EASA, like this Bellastock. But they can also happen really big. This is in this is an atelier in Lyon, where I did my Erasmus, or next to Lyon. And it's situated between 3 universities, and they are using it as a big workshop to construct big models. And also to do groundwork like learning structural thinking in the first semesters. And I mean, you have 4 universities here in Sofia. I think that, I mean, you don't have to drive 45 minutes to meet each other, or maybe sometimes with the bus, but think about it. Think about what could happen in Sofia if you would just build a workshop together and try to work on something together, and maybe propose to the universities to use it. This is a project I did in 1 week with my colleagues in my master thesis on the left. 10 by 10 by 6 meters, so really proud. And yeah, this is stationary or temporary picture, so it can be like in this big space, or it can also be in EASA space. We live together sometimes, and we share together, and we experience together for sure. And they can exist with small budget, big budget, with everything. And they can also change how we are constructing, because we can think about the processes, how we are doing construction sites in the future. This is Patrick Bourgeon in France, and he's inviting all the construction workers, all the companies, all the architects, all the clients together in the beginning of the construction site, and makes a big food table and cooking together, and everybody gets to know each other, so the construction site can work much better and everybody is on the same level. So this is a new way of thinking constructions. And also, this is German, but it says social cultural effects on something. I mean, workshops can have this or not. It always depends how you see it. Is something still standing there? Are people remembering this? I mean, who has been in 2014 in EASA here? Only 2 people. Okay, so I'll tell you a small story. There was this guy who had a shop in the middle of the campus. And first night he had 1 fridge of beer. Second night he had 2 fridges of beer. Third night there were 5 fridges of beer, 3 coffee machines, and all the family came and worked together to make a burek and feed all the people from EASA. I think after 1 week he destroyed one part of the building and put a coffee machine, like the big coffee machines in there, so everybody could have coffee. And we were all joking after, in these 2 weeks, he will buy a car when we're finished. And 2 weeks later, he posted a picture of his new car. So think about that in social cultural effects. So in my master thesis, I tried to take all this, EASA, Gaia, Autoscreener, and Pilstalk together and think about how you make something like a, how do you say, like a program, a frame program, how people could put their own atelier in the city and work together at different universities, and how you could interchange. I'm not going to tell you anything about this. It's in German. Maybe I translate it in the future, and you can talk to me about it. I just want to show you that EASA was a big part of my master thesis in the end. And this is where the actual presentation starts. This is your university here, or part of you. I found out that it's 8 kilometers from the center. And Lyon, where I did my Erasmus, is also 8 kilometers from the center. And it's 500 people, so more or less the same also here. It's only architecture students, but it's still more or less the same size as university. They also have an engineering school next to it, on the left. Pretty much an interesting setting. And what they did when I was there, 2011 Erasmus, they were organizing tables with the teachers and the students to cook together and to discuss the curriculum together. They have their own student-run bar in the building, like, for example, what was here before. And students work there for some money, and the teachers and the students meet during the coffee pauses. They make hot dogs, they drink beer in the evening until 5, then everybody has to go out, like here. So there is a lot of similarities. They have their own music festival in the university. And they have this Gaia where they're constructing the stuff and are working on a lot of things. And this is where I come to Graz, and our story begins. Graz is different. Graz the university is right in the center, like Sofia University. And we have a problem that people are just walking out of the university and not really communicating with each other, because there is so many cafes and bars and restaurants all around the city, and you can do so much that people after lectures don't stay in the university. They're just spreading out, coming back when the next lecture is starting. And this is our university. Only part of it is like architecture faculty with 2,000 people. And places to relax and do reading or learning spaces or meeting spaces almost are non-existent, because everybody's going around to the bars. And in winter, especially in the summer, there are people sitting in the parks, but even there is not like tables or anything. So I came back from Lyon to this, which is a really empty space, our main aula, and it's like really sad when you come back from Lyon. You had all this life. So I experienced this when I was in Lyon, and I had this when I came back. And we wanted to do this. When I came back 2012, I decided to just tell all my colleagues, like, hey, let's meet and do something. And I made a Facebook event and everything. I was like, hey, who can say no to do something? Yeah, let's do it. So 2 people came. And actually 3 people, but one guy said, where is your idea, where is your concept? And was never to be seen again. And we didn't have any concept, we just wanted to do stuff, we just wanted to start doing something. So we have a saying in German, I'm going to try to translate this, I wrote this down. If you really want something, you will find solutions to achieve your goal, but if your wanting is not strong enough, you will find reasons why you cannot do it. So we were only 2 people, but we decided let's do something. And we decided we need a flagship project, like we're just going to start with something. And this is where this, so what did we do? This is William from Bratislava. I met him in Lyon in my exchange year. And they are doing a photo expo in Bratislava every year. Which is not about making competition or anything. It's just about socializing and bringing people together and just having beer, visit. The photographs are all from students from the university, and there's no curation or anything. They're just putting up the pictures and printing them and having fun. So what did we do? We copied the shit out of Bratislava. But how? We had no idea how to do that, and we had no, And the first thing that comes up when you're an architect is design, vernissage, we need a party, we need a logo. That's the four things, no? But where is the money, where is the space, and where is the people? So that was the big question. You can see here actually, maybe this works. No, nothing works, okay. So here, this says exhibition, vernissage, organization, money is like a small somewhere. How do we print the stuff? And here you see where we started to arrange space, but we didn't have any space after that. And this is where we did the logo.
So, before we continue, we figured out that there are some issues we had before we can start an expo. There are so many things to solve, but before we continue, we want to give you some questions which you should keep into your mind during the presentation and beyond, if it's possible. So the first question is, who can help you with your things? There are some people at university sometimes who are motivated, or some people from outside. There are NGOs, there are some cultural clubs which you can ask for help, basically. Then the next question is which tools you have. Every university have some special implementations or had events before which you can use to implement your stuff. Second one is, where are the gray areas? There are always some things at university which are not run that properly, and so maybe you find a loophole to get into that to realize your own stuff. The next one is how to get material. If you want to build something, if you want to do something, just figure out, maybe there are some companies, maybe there are some sponsors where you can get something for free. The next one is equipment. We have usually at an architectural faculty a workshop, so you have machineries which you can use to build your own stuff. And another thing is, who's got information? So there are some former students who did something at your university, and you can ask them for help. The last thing is where you can buy beer.
Teddy got.
And he managed to do this without any money. So we had our big problem that we had a concept that we need a venue where we held our exhibition, and we thought one of our great areas is the almighty paper. So if there is a space at the university which is not used for a lecture, you could go to university and ask, okay, it's free, we can occupy it. So it was possible to go there as a group and learn, but we took it a little bit further and asked for a venue, and we got this one. You saw it in the picture before. It's in our main campus. The two main lecture rooms are there, and about 1,000 people running around every day and passing by. And we are quite near to the rector, who's sitting up to there at the window, and our dean. So we thought, okay, we tried out and made the best of it. But we needed people. Before you saw this post, were just two people showing up, and then we started the recruitment. And after a few meetings, it looks like that. Which brings us to the point, always go have some beer, and don't force it too much. And this was one of the last of the project afterwards. It's our 1810 room, so it is the room from the student association.
Keep the thing in the left in mind with the logo. You will see it later.
So, well, we had our concept of our expositive, but what does it mean? So, it means more or less this translated, we built with our heart.
Because we fell through in aesthetics.
Oh, yes. So the next thing is, the exhibition. We want to show the pictures of our colleagues. The next one is, okay, we needed a meeting spot, so we built this bar in the center of the university, because people are usually, when they're coming out of their courses, they just heading by. But if you can grab a coffee or a beer with your colleagues, they stay. There you can see it during the day, where people coming out of the lecture, and we had our bar there and offered them coffee. And this is the thing at night time. People just coming together, get a glass of wine. And it's also for several groups. So at the left you see our professors who are just discussing very important architectural issues, and on the right,
The last hour, the last beer.
So, and on the other side, we want to have a learning space so that people can come together, and we organized some workshops, and it was, as you can see, a great success. But for every exhibition, you need a vernissage, you need a party to attract those people, and
also celebrate yourselves that you did it.
We are not that important.
I'm not.
Yeah, I want to pay attention. So, and this is the video of our first expo. But it was not just about making an exhibition, it was mainly about bringing people together. And those are some of our members who helped us to construct this amazing bar and organize the whole expo. And during the years, our thing evolved. So in the first place, we have just this exhibition where you show some pictures, but the next year we found some support from companies and built our own design. So for example, here you have the boards from Hero Design, and we changed the just printed out paper rolls to a real exhibition design. So in 2015 we had the first time talks with architects. So we invited people to have some lectures like we did right now. And this, I guess there is no real comment, it's work in progress. So it takes a lot of effort, but it's totally worth it. And in 2015, I guess you know this guy. It's the guy from Bratislava. And William visit and give his approval for our copy. And in 2016, we tried to make a learning space, and this was the first one. I guess we are not really learning, we are...
watching a movie, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Tato, yeah.
Oh, Tato. And for the first time a real Cinema 4D workshop, where people are approaching us and asked us if we were interested that they come in our university and, teaching their stuff. And in 2017, it was our last expo, some professors came to us and said, okay, they are new at the university and they want to talk to the students, but it's not that easy, so they came to our bar and we're cooking together and we're cooking for the students. Another thing we did, because to attract people is always kind of nice if you have this engagement, and by the post-its you see the fan favorite of the exhibition, and this one gets a special prize. And here is the evolution, but you can see on the left side it was the first bar, and on the right side it was the one from the last exhibition. So the bar gets bigger and bigger and bigger for a purpose, because we figured out if you have a space where people can meet, it can move people to work together and realize some projects. Just once a year is a little bit too less. So we implemented this vicious circle where we started off, for example, with a Mario Kart Cup. So playing computer games together, or doing some workshops, or board game nights, or the movie night you saw before. So this one is the Mario Kart tournament. We try to implement it and think, okay, maybe some people showing up, but if there is something people in our university are good in and passionate in, it's playing Mario Kart. So there were coming a bunch of people and there was this competition and everybody take it really, really serious. But in the main part, during people are playing, they are discussing and talking and developing new projects. We implemented also the regularized table, where we try to implement some new ideas. For example, the handicraft workshop, where you build and design, for example, your own furniture, and also a movie workshop and the publication section of our little community. And it's one of the projects which really got realized in the Kleinraum. I guess some of you already saw them.
Everything is up here. It's in German, but you can read through it.
And they're getting from time to time even more professional. First, the picture is here for a reason, because Benjamin was thinking, okay, it's a great idea to give people something to read while they are at the toilet, because here we got the time. And he did an interview with the dean, for example, which is his favorite toilet, or why every girl in our faculty likes him so much. And another thing was student network. I just want to make a break here and just want to explain which issues we have with the whole we need working experience. We go out of university and we just have to do what more or less our boss as an architect tells us to do. We're doing their projects. We have no real benefit out of it. Our name is nowhere shown. And so we're thinking, okay, if they do that to us, we try to turn it around. We were making a big model workshop for one architect in Graz, but we say, okay, you want our cheap labor, so you have to provide things for us. And he did. So he invited some friends of him and colleagues just to give lectures again. And paid, of course, for all the materials. And, yeah, paid for other working materials.
Yeah. And he also gave an internship for 3 people of the workshop, paid for 1 month. So he spent a lot of money to be able to use us, and we used him. So
yeah, they paid them, but not me. So
he was actually working with them.
Yeah. Dark
story.
So always keep your eyes up for opportunities. So there were always people searching for something, and after a while they may approach you. But if you hear some friends who are talking about they need some help or they need some drive or some architectural spirit, just go for it. And one was a project I enjoyed a lot was a teacher from high school came to us and say we were at university and we were thinking it would be nice to make an urban design workshop with my pupils, but the university said no, we don't have an interest, we don't have the resources, so go away. And then they came to us and we said, yeah, for sure. And the funny thing was we were doing it in the middle of university, and we were 3 to 4 tutors, but all of their students coming by and discussing with the young people their ideas and their architectural approach, and it turned out to be a great success. And we got a mail from the dean of the school that they are so proud of it, and it's in the main aula of the school at the moment. And another thing was there is an event which is initiated by the House of Architecture of Graz. It's called Architecture Summer, where people can participate and show, for example, some projects or make some exhibition or events. And we were thinking, okay, we make our own event in our own style, and it's called Rooftops Lost and Found. So we were mapping rooftops or public spaces which you don't know that exist, but you can access freely or very, very easy. So this was one of the rooftop terraces at our university. And it was a great opportunity to buy some swimming pools. And this was the last one, which is also at our university, to be precise. Here. And well, not just the idea to make short-term installations. We thought about, okay, maybe we can build something more permanent at our university, and we were coming up with this idea. It was in back here again. In this part, we got several platforms where people can sit and hang out.
I finally understand why it doesn't work. I didn't push the on button. Yeah, sorry.
Seriously? How to can change the
1, 2, also vorne Trick.
We are professionals. So we tried to implement an idea to make some pavilions there where people can, just hang out or make some group works and discussion there. And there we had another issue. the time, or how we perceive time as a student, and how university perceiving time. So your dean is interesting to get your university further in a time span of 1 decade and develop it very slow. But for us, we're here 5 years. So when we get to the point where we want to change something, we're just here for 2 years. And so there was always this clash that we say, okay, we want to do something now, and they say, okay, can organize maybe a studio to work on it, and then we find sponsors and so on and so on. And so a lot of projects are just not really working out. So if you just have a look, you can...
I showed you this picture before. This is Bellastock in Paris. For 4 days, 1,100 people coming together, architecture students, and building in 2 days a city. Just like that. First one up there with recycled materials. There's just big containers. You saw the picture before of the people on the container trying to get the materials and just built a shelter. Left a floating city in 2 days. Right. A structure of plastic where you can walk through for 1 hour and people are sleeping in 2 days with almost no money. EASA 2014. 2 weeks of construction and so much stuff built. Why not do it in 2 weeks? No?
And in the end, this was one of our proposals. And there we had this issue that they say, okay, it's not doable in the time span we want to do it. And this was another project, another design 2 years later.
No, that was actually the same year. And it was all the 3 projects was discussions with the dean, and we always had to change it and become more smaller and more nice. But in the end, they didn't approve anything. So.
Yeah, but now a few years later, we found this one in the park of our university, which was the class of our dean who designed this. So maybe if you're implementing some ideas, they will find their way on another scale from another person in your university. But in a lot of times, we did just random stuff.
This is in the Audimax you've seen before.
Yeah, it was important thing if you do something, you have to be happy with it and have fun and don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. We were not going to explain this project.
No, it's just... So... What do you want to do it or whatever? Okay, good. The structure of Kleinraum. So it was not really a club where you sign up and then you have a real membership. It was more or less this idea to come together, and if you have a project you're interested in or if you have time, then just show up and help the group working on several projects. So there is no real command structure. I guess it's like EASA. We don't have this tent where we come together and decide what we want to do, but we meet up and discussing what our next project could be. And we also have no financial support. So our university was not just skeptical, they also don't give us any money. So we have to get on our feet and searching for sponsors. So we did some renderings of our second exhibition design and just send it out and try to get some support. And by this, it's very important, don't ask for money. In most cases, ask for things they produce. For example, if you have this board, they have so many of them, they don't miss 20, 30 of them. And if you have to buy it by yourself, it will cost you a lot of money, a few €100. But in this case, we got it for free. And
just go back for a second. Sorry.
Yes.
Just to say this, I just found out this is wrong presentation. Doesn't matter. We didn't think about using this material and then design the stuff. We designed the exhibition, and then somebody in the office like, oh, what could we use? Oh, there's something. Oh, that looks like it could work. So let's ask the company, and then we just put the texture on our model and said, hey, that's your material. So give us material.
So, and this was the outcome in the end. And
it was a hell to work with this material because it's not structural at all, but it looks perfect.
Yes, it's just an isolation material in this case. So this was, for example, the concept of our last bar, and we were thinking, okay, I guess the beamer is not the right thing, but there you see the different bricks of beton, and we will go to the company and say, okay, give us the bricks and we make this. It was, I guess, our most beautiful bar.
And you don't have to have a portfolio before or anything. It's in the case before with Heroclete, we didn't have anything. It's just show them something that they can see, that non-architects can visualize what you want to do with their material, and they're up for it.
But to be broad about it, it helps, of course. It will be getting easier to get some materials, to get support, if you have already done some projects. So, and if you solve the question I showed you before the first time, it's becoming easier to repeat the whole thing. And so, even though people like we managed to organize something like this. So, this is your turn.
Thank you very much. And something else very important, also in Sofia, I would say, full transparency in what you're doing. So we were always behind that, to have an internet platform where everybody can see the ideas and projects, and we would just put up all the stupid stuff that we were thinking of, every idea, and making it available for the students to submit their own idea, what they want to do, and find people. And since we said it already, you have 4 universities in Sofia. Maybe I had this thinking, I mean, a collaborative platform of all architecture students in all the universities. It's easy to do, a homepage. I mean, if you have an IT friend with WordPress, he can do it in 2 hours when you give him beer. And you have a platform at first. And some people, you just put up the stuff, like stupid stuff. Like, we're going to give you some examples now of stupid stuff that we never did, but is like this Mario Kart. It always works. It will work here, it will work everywhere. I've been in Zurich, I've did it also. I don't know why, but Mario Kart and Nintendo 64 seems to bring the people together and just having fun and doing stuff. For example, here I wanted to learn programming and web design with other people to do a computer game about architecture. Urban gardening, just exchange your old materials, model materials that you don't use, or you have 2 rulers that you don't need. So let's exchange our architectural stuff. Ask your teacher app. Like after the lecture, if you have some questions, you can put the question in. A working hamster wheel to work in the 1810 room, for example. Yeah.
Was the student one?
This one? Yeah, that was the one I was explaining to the Czech guy today. Yeah. This is about architecture students building a stand where people come, and architecture students are working behind to make 10-minute sketches, like somebody says, oh, I have this ground, I have this building, or my architect did this, or I would like to do this, and they just give you the paper or have nothing. They put it through a hole, and in the back there are like architecture students working and doing some sketches and just giving it to him. Here you have an idea, here you have an idea. to make the people more aware also that architects are needed, and have fun for everybody, and make information. This is just a party. This is in Bulgaria, the UFO in the mountains. I don't know how you call it in Bulgarian. Thank you. So actually there was a group that was Failed Architecture. They're from Holland, I think, and they did analysis about this, and we wanted them to come to Graz and also analyze our failed architecture, but they never did it. But these are the more sophisticated things. The better things are Excel ground plan drawing competitions. Just do it. I mean, you have space, you have computers, just organize something here, no? Like LAN party, but making stuff like that. Or Stani Bogart for architects. You have exams, you have questions, make them multiple choice and change them, like put some random stuff in there and just enjoy yourself. So like make 2 chairs here and lighting and just have fun in university. That's the whole thing that we did with Kleinraum all the time. Just enjoy your life here. This one is actually happening in Vienna, Fight Club, because we in Austria, we have a problem that students are not criticizing themselves. We're getting criticized by the professor, but when we are working together, it's all like, oh, nice project, and nobody's really getting into it.
And this is a project where you just meet with your half-finished models and plans that you do in your course. And everybody's just there to criticize you and take apart your model. Hey, why don't you do the facade like this? And you have to really defend your stuff and get something better out of it or not. But you criticize yourself and you learn more about architectural discussion. Also with beer, that works pretty good.
There is a theme going on.
Yeah. But what we want to say is we're not pioneers. We're not anything. Nobody of us is in this way. In this university, there have been projects. In our university, there have been projects. Everywhere there have been projects. It's not about doing new stuff like Bratislava. Copy the shit out of everything. Just whatever you like, do it. You find something on the internet, do it. No, man. For example, this is our drawing rooms. The thing that they did in the Sofia University. I don't know how the place is called. I'm sorry. Thank you. We actually have this stuff since the 70s. There are 5 of them. They were occupied by students in the 60s, 70s. And it was rooms that were just empty, like the 1810 room. They just went in there and started drawing because they needed space. They still had the big tables and everything. And nobody cared and nobody was listening to them. They were just up there. At some point they became an institution and they became bigger and bigger. There became more and more of them. And they're all run until now by students. They're in the university. I will show you later on the picture again where it is exactly. And there is no professor who is allowed to say anything. It's like this is all student run. There is a kitchen, a library, couch to sleep, same as what you have in Sofia University.
Yeah, but it was once the time where even professors are not allowed to go there. In the beginning, they said, okay, it's a student zone, and there were some professors who were very proud that they had such a good connection to the students who were allowed to go to the drawing room.
In the university.
Yeah, in their own university. And so.
Another thing is that everybody has its fixed table, so it's not like you're changing tables. You have your fixed working space. But the thing about this is, since they're in university, they always did a lot of stuff. And they did a lot of projects and organized architecture symposiums, congresses, and everything. And the whole thing about getting involved into the university is maybe a little bit more normal for us, at least when you are in one of these drawing rooms. Other students, like 95% of the students, are just going to lectures out of university and never to be seen kind of like for lecture. But there's always this 5% who are actually getting involved. And hey, I hear you are this fact. So yeah, that's why I put this picture there. That's in your Sofia University, no? We especially like the punching bag. That's pretty cool. And because Tanya already yesterday when we were discussing, the first thing she said when we were discussing project was, but the finances. So yesterday when we went through Sofia, we found this stuff. It's lying around everywhere. It's used for the construction sites. They're banned, everything. Nobody will use them anymore in the future. I mean, maybe they're doing this, but for what use? I mean, or this table that is up there in Vitosha. This stuff is super cheap, even for free. Just go there. And you have in this university, you have so much space out there. We were talking yesterday. You can find you have a car, you go to the construction site, you find every material you can get, and you just put it somewhere and stash it somewhere here, like on the campus grounds, and just build up a huge pile of material. And at the end, you're doing workshops with it. Why not? I mean, it can stay there for years, no? So just take what you can get and work with it. Yeah, we also found it. Michael found it.
Yeah, you have your own photo exhibition. There is this construction site in the center of the city, and some photographer or interested guy just put his photos there, and there were, I guess, up to hundreds just around there, and every 10 meters there's one photo, and you can walk through and have it.
It's the beginning of a photo expo.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the end, we're almost in the end. The span of a student life is short, and don't miss it. And I will try to read this now. Life is limited. And with a small group of people in university, you can change a lot. We started with 2 people, we became 5 people. There's always one or two people who are like super driving. There needs to be these 2 people who are super motivated to do something. and just start going somewhere, and just why not? I mean, what do you have to lose? Just do it. Go.
And then there are the other
people
who
will
have
follow.
to look at professional. That's the other way.
Yeah, also.
No, it's always this thing. Yeah, you have to go for it. And after that, you find some people who say, okay, but maybe this could be more professional.
Or we need a nice flyer or something like that.
So, and it was we started the process and it evolved from time to time. And I guess all those pictures.
Yeah, these are all the photo expo pictures. Yeah, and I will show you this later also. But the thing is here. Don't be afraid to just go into one direction, even if you're only 2 or 5 people. Start organizing Mario Kart tournaments, Stani Bogart, whatever. Bring the people together to discuss, make some projects. It's not always about architecture. This comes later, like when you all have formed a group and start thinking about what can we do better in university. But first you need to get to know each other and bring the people together and make this space a space where everybody wants to be. I think this is highly possible here, even with the student dorm and everything. So, yeah, and the most important thing is to enjoy yourselves. Don't become too quality and everything. Enjoy yourselves and don't push yourselves too hard. It always has to do with joy. If you're going into one direction where you don't enjoy anymore, don't do it. And our projects, they're still living in the university somewhere. We are finished right now because we didn't find enough responsible people. That's something that you can learn also for you. We had a core team in Kleinraum, but we tried to form new people, to get new people into the core team and take responsibility and do exactly this stuff, like going to the university, to the dean and say just, I want to do this. Unfortunately, we didn't find it in Graz, and Kleinraum more or less died in the end. But when I go back to university, I still find pieces. So all our bars are existing in the drawing rooms. Every year, another drawing room took one of our bars, and they're now in the drawing rooms. Or the seatings, or the 2015 Expo, the one with the black cubes, was actually bought by the press. Chief department of press of our university, because they liked it so much, even though our professors were like, that's shit architecture. We got 600 euros for it.
Yeah, and in the end, people will remember. You have all those signs that you were here, and even though if new people are studying architecture, you have this knowledge we gather, or this mood images that we show you, that people can build on again. Because if you're starting from the scratch, it's always hard to find the right answers and the right points where you have to go to ask. And so you do other students a favor if you just go for it, because they can learn from your experience.
They can come after you, they can just follow you, and then you will have a great time. We found this saying 4 days ago, like, don't destroy, don't obstruct, it can only be an addition. And especially in this university. And another thing that we say a lot in German is, where there is a will, there is a way. Even if it's only 2 people. And sometimes you just need to start doing something without thinking, just because you can do it. So this is our video projection wall out of tables on our lecture. And this is William sticking his head somewhere. So this is a church we built because we could do it. we had a colleague who was at the same time scaffolding climber or maker, or like in the construction site, and he said, "Oh, I want to do something also. I can bring free scaffolding. I want to do a church. Okay, let's do a church." And in there they play Mario Kart. And yeah, sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than for approval. Sometimes you just need to start doing it, and always clean up after yourselves. Maybe even before people notice that you were even doing something, depending on what you're doing.
In most cases it worked out.
Yeah, and this box also brings me to something. It's think about also sound equipment, light equipment, everything. I mean, all of you have friends somewhere with cars, or maybe working as a DJ or whatever, technician university, everything. You can find stuff everywhere. I mean, in Sofia University, I think there's so much stuff lying around in the institutes that they only use once per year. In Graz, we had a motion suit. You know this in the movies. They use it to make Gollum and stuff like that. You know, it was just lying around, and we never used it, but you could. So just find also what you can get everywhere, also outside of university. And this is a 3-minute video of
5 or something like that.
No, I cut it.
Oh, you have it.
From 2015 and 2017. That's him when he was young.
Yeah.
That's the scaffolding there. Finances. Perfectionist in construction. My expert. That's the guy who started everything with me constantly. Turning down the lights to be the end of Kleinraum.
So poetic.
Actually, in this last exhibition, the rectorate came, or the dean came.
Yeah.
And the first time he said, "Oh, it's pretty nice what you did here the last 6 years. Yeah, cool. It's the last time. Thanks for appreciating it now." But we still enjoyed it.
Yeah. So.
And yeah. Thank you for listening, and if you have questions later, we're still not finished, but if you have questions later, this is Asima, our master architecture Barchi. And yeah, this is your university, no? I just heard that they sold out the place, but you could still, I think we have an idea what you could do. That looks pretty good there, no? Get out of the rooms, ask your professors maybe to get out and do the lectures there. Just do model white throwing at the end of the year, like with all your finished models, like throw them around or just enjoy. And you have a lot of urban gardening possibilities. You have so much possibilities here. It's like we wanted to bring you beer now and tell everybody like who starts to bring beer has to discuss and take the first project when to meet for the next Mario Kart tournament, but unfortunately we didn't bring beer. So.
But we had a guy who organized beer.
Yeah. Here we wrote down a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that we never got forward. I guess we had a whole thing, and I guess it's now time for questions. So.
Yeah. Do you have questions?
Talk to me.
In your university, did you study is it only for architecture?
No, it's 12,000 people in total. So it's the technical university of Graz.
So it's a huge campus?
Yeah, this was only the one part of the campus. There's a big part of the campus.
But the problem is we have more campuses. So the architectural school is in one, mainly. There are some other courses who held there, but the real technical studies are, I guess, 10 minutes away. And there's another campus for, I guess, physics and chemistry. So we are all around the city. So it's not that we have a real campus. We are divided and split it up. Yeah, good.
These expositions, were you meeting with other people, like engineers?
Yes, absolutely. What we forgot is in most of the exhibitions we had partners. So in the first one, the second one in 2014, we worked together with the photography school in our city. So they were providing the photo workshops and were helping us, and we did it all together. So sometimes if you in your university you don't find people, you can also find them somewhere else. And the bar, for sure, everybody enjoyed because everybody was walking through there. But we had scenery people, a financial guy. Some people always joined us, Erasmus people, to help us, and then went away again. But we never really got to actually spread the whole thing. We wanted, but we didn't get to do it. Oh yeah, by the way, you can use the name Kleinraum if you like. It doesn't matter.
So you can create your own franchise.
And we were thinking that the dean will be here today, so we prepared this thing to tell him it all. There's her. Sorry. Okay. It's always dead. But there has to also come some stuff from him. I mean, from the students, yes, and you have to propose him. But he should also be open to stuff like that. Maybe you can convince him, or I don't know him. Maybe she's already convinced. So. Maybe don't tell her that you only want to do fun stuff.
She's all about the fun.
Okay.
She's an artist, so she's open.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We drink wine with her.
That's the perfect start, and now we drink beer together.
So now you have to like me more.
Yeah, we like you always.
We were discussing before to create our religion based on your holiness.
So actually, I can show you one thing. The picture of the university. Where is it?
What was your game? The first one who starts the discussion.
Yeah, exactly. No, not the first one. Starts the discussion.
The one who of you will come together and discuss now when they do the first event here? And drink a beer.
Like right now.
Right now.
Yes.
That's the beer.
Oh.
You said 2. Now we need those are the 2. Now we need 5.
True.
So extend the group.
I mean, we are also 2. We can help. Also, other
I
universities.
still get the beer.
So yeah, thanks a lot. I wanted to find a picture and to show you where our ateliers are.
Yeah, but thanks for having us. As you might recognize, it's our first time that we had a lecture and talking about our own stuff, and it was amazing because the week before we were all coming together in my flat and we were making this presentation and we are having a dinner and discussing the good old times. So you did us a favor, and I saw Bulgaria the first time. And thanks a lot. And do your stuff.
Cheers. So, first, who has a Mario and who has an internet?
We can use emulators.
Yeah.
I mean, private security is legal.
Yeah, true.
I actually have something to congratulate you as a post-meeting because we didn't introduce you, and in the context of what you're saying, it's just that really meant something.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go for it. If somebody's complimenting us,
To this?
Is this one okay?
Yeah, sure.
Can I
But if you need internet, there is
just some. I need some more Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Still help us.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.